You're watching YLN TV.
Next, we have a request to appear made by call. Alfred, you speak regarding immigration issues to Henry County, if you would. First, to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you have 15 minutes.
Thank you, Commissioners. Mr. Chairman, I didn't get a chance to ask the one question that if you don't mind, I'd like to ask now. How does this comport with the Atlanta Regional Commission's overall view of the transportation system within the state of Georgia, this particular plan?
So the managed lane system plan, which is actually ARC is calling for managed lanes all across the metro region. And so what GDOT is talking about is this express lane system is part of the overall ARC managed plan. So all the projects that are here are in the 2040 plan and is being updated, of course, every 5 years. But yeah, the big push in terms of adding lanes to the interstates in the metro area will all be managed lanes. There'll be these express lanes like what we're presenting here.
One more thing. The Atlanta Regional Commission, what level of oversight are they going to be providing as we push forward into the years in the future?
So the Atlanta Regional Commission puts the plan together, and then GDOT builds the roads, and then SERTA operates the toll roads. So it's everybody works together to do that. But ARC is the 10-county planning organization, an MPO for the metro region. So they plan what's going to happen over the next 40 to 50 years, obviously with input from local governments who are a part of that process. So they do the plan, and then GDOT builds the roads, and then SERTA operates the roads once they're open. That's kind of the process that it goes through.
So we're talking about really the regionalization of our government structure altogether.
Well, I mean, the important thing to remember is the ARC is local governments make up ARC. So, I mean, they're not a regional government. They don't make any decisions, but local governments are members of those. So I think Chairman Smith is a member of the ARC, and then there's appointees from the cities and counties. So it's the local governments make up the regional commission. They give their input into what is the regional plan. It's a way to make sure that we don't build a road here and then not connect it in somewhere else. So it's an entire managed lane system plan so that everybody connects together, if that makes sense.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wow. Gentlemen, you received some paperwork from me that last meeting. Is it safe to assume that came across as fairly foreign and alien to you as far as what I was trying to get across? Or did you understand what it was I was putting out there to you? No response. Okay. Those documents represent the people you represent. I being one of them, and they represent the will of the people that you really don't get a chance to meet because you're really busy over here doing a yeoman's job, by the way, of maintaining the corporation as we know it, the Henry County Corporation, as a subsidiary of the State of Georgia Corporation, as a subsidiary of the United States Corporation. You guys are, intertwined like I've never seen anything intertwined before. Good job. Along the way, something has been forgotten. That something that was forgotten is a crime against all of us across this country. The crime is a crime of fraud. The crime of fraud was perpetrated 143 years ago. The mere passage of time does not make it right. So let's revisit this real quick. The crime is part and parcel to why we're looking at these immigrant issues right now. They're not immigrants. This is an invasion. It's an invasion that threatens the very lives of people all across the country, and more importantly to you, threatens the lives of your constituents right here in Henry County. I don't know if you are aware or not as to where safe houses are being established all across the country. I know that there was one over in Palmetto. I know that there's one being set up down in Valdosta. I have heard nothing about what is going on here. And I ask you guys to look into this And I don't know if you have or not because I have not gotten any response back. So let me one more time, not ask, but demand that you find out an answer to the people if we are going to be put at risk by having any of those illegal aliens come over here. You have heard the pleas and the cries of people saying, there's big-time diseases with these people. Your corporate leader up there in D.C., Obama, your corporate leader, is waging war upon us by opening up those borders. And yet I hear nothing. I hear nothing from the Congress, which is supposed to work in our behalf. They are merely trustees to the problem we've had right along, which is the bankruptcy that hasn't stopped since '33. But they're not trustees of the public. They're not trustees of our making. You, gentlemen, are trustees to the corporation. But it's a fiction to the real people on the ground, the men and women who live within the metes and bounds of your borders. That fraud is part and parcel to the words that I hear thrown about all the time. The Atlanta Regional Commission and their minions, the league of lawyers that come through here and use words that can only be described as misleading, untruthful, because if you'll look at the Black's Law Dictionary, 6th edition, and the warning contained in the preface, you'll understand everything that you're hearing here, and then you'll understand why you don't understand what they're saying. The fraud is something that you need to address right now. The fraud is represented by the bar, which is a foreign entity with roots in London. And that foreign entity is what you gentlemen are representing. You say you took an oath. I don't know, because I haven't received anything from my required issuance of those bonds. I haven't, excuse me, those oaths. I haven't seen that, so I have no idea what oaths you guys have taken. But if you look a little closer at that, there's problems, because you take an oath to a constitution, which is, one would hope, the organic constitution, and if so, goodness gracious, you've got a problem here, because that would be real. What you're doing is unreal. You are looking towards a county attorney for all of the understanding that you get right here, right now. That county attorney and all of the bar that's associated with them are the ones that continue to perpetrate the fraud on us, we the people. They have bled us dry, unbeknownst to you, but definitely known to us, and you allow this to continue. Gentlemen, I want to ask you right now two things. A, do you know what those flags represent? Do you? Any of you? Okay, fine. They represent martial law established a long time ago in this country. Martial law that supersedes that thing that you took an oath to, the Constitution. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say that you need to, if you want to separate yourself from the fraud, disavow your relationship with these attorneys and come back to the people. And the way you do that is you start right here and right now. I have two constitutional flags, one Georgia, one from the United States, minor. I want to replace those up there today as a show of good faith, a show of good faith that you gentlemen are constitutional representatives of ours, we the people, here in Henry County. I have people here, the Patrick Henry Board of Review and their affiliates sitting over here waiting for your okay to put the correct flag back where it should be. Do we have the approval from the council to do that?
You do not have my approval. We'll start down here. Take a vote to change the flag.
Okay. So you gentlemen are going to remain in a state of rebellion against the people. That's the way I'm reading this. Okay. Then I've got to make you aware that the charges that I have leveled against those of you that are involved in the Atlanta Regional Commission, those do in fact hold some weight, and they're called sedition and treason. You are getting involved in a form of government, which that is, the Regional Commission is changing our form of government, whether you realize it, agree to it, or not. It is the fact. So if you continue, which you obviously are, down that path, you are now in a state of rebellion, along with the president, along with the government. You are part of the corporation, not a part of the people. You are the fiction, not the reality. The seats that you occupy are seats that we voted for you to take. And now you have abdicated and vacated those seats by the fiction that you represent. You do not represent the constitutional, organic constitutional people of this county until and unless you address this issue, and until and unless you get rid of the fraud. The fraud is the people who are representing you. You have placed faith in people who are basing it on a lie. It is a lie. The Georgia resolution passed in 1957 clearly tells you all what the lie is. Have any of you read that? I see blank stares, so I assume that means no. There are many that have read it, and I have it on good authority that many other states took similar action to reveal the truth to you, our elected. It's there for you to see. If any of you have a desire to know what the truth is, just ask, and I will be happy to provide that information for you. But the documents I provided first show the corporation and the corporation structure. That was the UCC filings. Next, the demands to get rid of the, or shut down the courts, because the courts are operating illegally, unlawfully, right in and under our noses. And then come clean with the people who elected you. You're going to need to retake your oath, because until you do, the seats that you proudly sit in right now go vacant in the eyes of those who are the real men and women, the flesh and blood men and women who reside within the metes and bounds of this county. So whether you take any kind of steps or not, I will tell you right now that your rededication to the Atlanta Regional Commission, your dedication to the unconstitutional, unlawful martial law that is represented by those flags, puts you all in a state of rebellion, puts you all in a state of treason. Now, I will ask one more time, is that where you choose to remain? Okay. Files, charges will be forthcoming, but as neighbors, I wanted to give you the opportunity to at least understand where those charges come from, and that's where they come from, ladies and gentlemen. They come from a document that many purport to be the salvation of this nation. Purport. When it was passed on a fraud, passed it with the idea that it's going to free slaves, my oh my, what a lie. It created an entire class of slaves. Look at you. Look at you. You are the flesh and blood, and yet you walk around as a fiction, and you are treated as a fiction. Do you even realize, have you got any perception of the absolute fog that you are living under? Some do. And all you have to do is find these people. They are out there. They understand. And those are the people that are in direct violation of the corporate structure. Those are the people that they call terrorists, when in fact, The terrorists are the ones that keep perpetrating the fraud upon you.
Excuse me, your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you very much.